Hey guys, great video here for D-line players. So if you're a D-line player as an athlete watching this or a coach, one thing we really want to work on is our explosion off the football. So it's one thing to be fast, but we really want to be explosive, which is going to combine speed and power off the ball. And the way that we can combine those two is we really want to make sure that we're using our hips to fly forward and send our energy forward. All right, so this is a player I work with, Jameson, really good defensive player, very powerful. And one thing that we've worked is not only being fast off the ball, but adding that explosion. So the sled is something that's going to be used by every team during training camp in the offseason. But it's one thing to just hit it, and there's another thing for you to be able to understand exactly what you're doing. So I'm going to show just these two different basically attacks off the football and then explain what the difference is and how you can coach this up. So for coaches, how you can cue the players, and then for the players, how you can think of getting off the ball here and what the difference is. So if we play both of these in full speed, all right, we're just going to see one right here. So really good rep. And then same thing, we're going to watch this one in full speed, really good rep. But it's going to look like they're the same thing, right? So those are both just, a good explosion off the ball. So what was the difference here? All right, so this one here, all right, on the right side that we're looking at, Jameson does a really good job of getting off and getting off fast. So I'm going to really slow this down, all right, into quarter speed. So he gets off the ball fast, gets a good strike on the pad. The thing that I didn't really like on this, and this is what we worked on, was his hips never move forward. So if we watch this as we move forward here, on his initial strike here, his hips are still very far behind. All right, so he didn't snap these through, so there's really no power. He hits the pad a little bit high, all right, because he was just trying to get hands-on really fast. And then as he comes through, we're in a good position of lean, but we still have those hips behind, right? They're not exactly through all the way. So what I tried to cue him on was snapping his hips forward as if he was doing a clean or a deadlift, all right? A powerful movement that's for football and a good football lift, right? So if we get to this point here and we watch this one in quarter speed, we're going to see a very big difference of the snap through of those hips. We're going to see, so as he comes off the ball here, those hips fly through. So now we're in a much better position. All right, the hips went from a hinge point here, all right, all the way into this. So they almost snapped all the way through. So Jameson does a really good job of firing those hips forward. And even though he gets a strike in a similar spot on the pad, we're now in a much more powerful position than this right here, right? So he's almost leaned over, pressing on the pad, and this one we're really up underneath the pad in a good straight line, really driving the player off, and then he's able to get his feet underneath him. And right here, you're going to generate some movement. And if you guys watch the sled for 1 second, watch the movement on the sleds on these strikes. So if we watch this here, all right, he's going to strike it. Sled's going to move a little bit, but it's really just the pad that moves. All right, if you guys watch this whole sled move right here. The whole sled lifts up and moves back a few inches, and you could see it generate all the power back here. So it really changed the whole dynamic when he snapped those hips forward. So that's really the way to cue the guys up, is popping those hips forward as if you're doing, like I said, a clean or a deadlift, something that's a powerful movement. Now we're just incorporating those movements that we've done in the gym a million times. Now we're taking them to the field. So that's what you want to see out of your players, is to be able to do that. And it doesn't take anything away from our speed. So this is the crazy thing. So if we cue these up to move at the same time, all right, if we watch these and I play them at the same time, you're going to see that even though Jameson was really trying to be speed over here, and I play them at the same time, you're going to see the video on the left. He's actually going to get to the pad even quicker because he's firing those hips through. All right, so he actually gets onto the pad way faster in this video. All right, but it was also a better and cleaner rep. So that's what you guys really want to look for. It's really going to change your dynamic of you coming off the football. So a guy like Aaron Donald is someone who comes to mind when you think about this, is not only is he fast off the ball, but he's explosive because he's using this good proper movement. So just something to keep in mind, guys, for, as you're getting into training camp, because even if it's a youth player, a younger player, maybe 7 or 8, you can still cue these things up and kind of work on them. But especially high school players, you're going to be using the sleds a lot. This is a really good way to work on that, work on coming off fast but explosive, and it's really going to change how you generate power and really get into the backfield as a D-line player.